YouTube, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here, wanting to do a quick test. I've heard that Numidian noble cavalry are much better in the Emperor beta test that's going on here. So I'm going to bring a couple of them and test them against some Arverni noble horse. They have 41 missile attack now, which is pretty darn high. We'll look at their armor piercing values and their other values once we get out of the battle. But I've been told that the javelins actually have a bonus versus cavalry. Not versus infantry, which is weird because you'd think that heavy javelins would be well suited for hurting heavy infantry, but anyway, this is just what I hear. I haven't gotten to test it yet. I'm going to put my general way back here in the back to dissuade the Arverni cav from attacking. And these guys ought to be pretty quick too, faster than most heavy horse. They still have 65 melee attack, 30 charge bonus, 44 defense, 45 armor is kind of low for a horse this expensive. So that's going to be their failing. But their weapon damage is quite good for a horse unit. I'm going to actually turn around and get ready to start skirmishing. So let's see what Numidian noble cav are able to do to noble horse. Looks like my guys can pretty easily stay in front of them. Especially those guys just put on frenzied charge, so they're probably going to regret that. Oh, they're actually catching up with me a little now. No, I can still easily outrun them. They got into a charge animation there and started catching me, but... Wow. Killing a pretty good number of horsemen, and I've still got enough javelins left, too. And this is while I'm on the run, too, killing that many horsemen. That's not bad. These guys are a little cheaper than a unit like... noble horse, so could feasibly be useful. Now, granted, I'm not doing this 1 versus 1.
The battle is turning in our favor.
But still, you could see how one unit could easily lead off a heavy cav like this, and if they turn their back to you, I mean, the unit's strong enough that if you charge them, I mean, the noble horse will definitely want to win that fight in the end because they have a bonus versus large. But still, this Numidian noble horse is pretty impressive. Or whoops, it's going to take fire at will off. Save the rest of my javelins for the enemy general. Look at that, man. Just completely chewed that unit up. Of course it was 2-on-1, but still you can see how you might be able to lure units away. With that high of a missile attack, that's pretty slick. Let's see how these two do against this noble horse, because they're not going to have enough javelins to kill it. So this will be an interesting piece of the test here too. And they're still fresh too, even after all that running around. And it looks like we can stay ahead of heavy horse,
One of our units
which is useful. Wow, they killed a lot of those heavy horsemen. Wow, even with limited javelins, we took him down 20 men. So that is not bad at all. Let's split up so that we can charge these guys from both sides. So, yeah, this is kind of an interesting finding here. I'm surprised how effective those javelins are versus heavy enemy cavalry like that. Now, the enemy cav is going to have an advantage for sure. Now, my guys have higher attack, but the enemy noble horse has got a nice melee defense, good armor, good health, and they've got a bonus versus cav of 10. But outnumbered 2-to-1, I'm not sure that's going to save them. Looks like my Numidians do fight with the sword, that's why they're not going to have a bonus versus cav. But let's take this off and watch the remainder of the fight here. I'm thinking my guys have this fight handled, so that's interesting. Numidian noble cav might actually be worth it now, if used properly, because it's actually looking like a pretty effective tool against enemy cavalry in the sense that it can outrun heavy cav and kill it with javelins to the point where it can turn around and beat it in melee, and it would be actually somewhat cost effective. I think. I don't know. This is just a quick test, so I mean, it's hard to say, but that's interesting results to say the least. Shoot those guys up. So yeah, anyway, food for thought here. So this patch is made everything different. I see a lot of comments where people just hate the patch or people just love the patch. For those of you hating it and saying there's weird things in it, I'm not going to say that it's perfect because I haven't gotten to explore it in depth, but one thing I've learned about this patch is don't go drawing conclusions about it too early, because I thought some things about it too, and then once I went and got a little more information off the forums from people who know, it actually kind of makes sense, some of the stuff that they do. And one of the biggest myths that's out there right now in the patch 15 beta or the Emperor Edition beta is that hoplites beat swords. This is not true at all, period. Hoplites of the same cost will not beat swords of the same cost, period. They won't, and not from anything I've seen. If you all know something that I don't know, let me know. But I mean, I've done tests, I've looked at other people's tests. Hoplites of the same cost of the swords in this patch will not beat them head on. Plus, they don't have javelins, and the swords do. Plus, you need to know that some of the sword units. Let me just give you some information here real quick. Well, actually, I'll do it in another video. So that I'll come back and I'll show you a little bit more about some of the units in this patch and how they're behaving in another video. Keep an eye out for that tomorrow. Heir of Carthage, signing off for now.